Hi, I've called this section Now Everyone Can Something. In this segment on current issues, I thought I'd like to poke a stick at AAX. The company that made it possible for everyone to fly is actually fast making it more likely for everyone to hate. Their recent offer, I think yesterday, if we can plausibly even call it that, of 0.5%, effectively 5 cents on the dollar, 5 cents on the ringgit, to passengers who are ultimately deserving of their refunds. Being a primary driver of this today, a swing against the brand, and possibly, if we listen to its CEO, a final nail in the brand's coffin. So let's look at a few elements of context. Then I'll deconstruct the actual message from the CEO that was offered. First, AirAsiaX has, because of the pandemic, obviously had to cancel flights. We get that. They offered a rescheduling option for many, but with flights cancelled for an extended period of time, this is not plausible for all customers. They then offered flight credits. Again, not plausible or wanted by everybody. The problem with credits is that at face value, it's not flight value. And given that a 1K flight 18 months ago might cost anywhere between 2,000 to 4,000 now, the customer again is the loser here. This lack of parity of value is really a huge issue for customers, but it's also a niggling issue that is slowly eroding away at the brand's existing goodwill. Their refusal to offer refunds, despite the precedent here and overseas, despite Mavcon's statement advising them that they should give refunds, is simply just another slap in the face to customers who trusted the brand that they would deliver on their service delivery promise. The recent offer, credits plus 5 cents in the dollar, and I think from memory a couple of other possible benefits, assuming the company survives of course, really doesn't sit well. Firstly, customers aren't creditors. Mavcon made that perfectly clear. Common sense makes that perfectly clear. A customer is not a financial mechanism to lend money to the brand. They pay for and have the right to expect delivery of promise or their money back. Second, a case recently, a gentleman who had spent something like 15,000 ringgit on air tickets that were effectively flushed down the toilet, took a great stand and went to the Consumers Tribunal. AirAsiaX repeatedly failed to engage, and judgment was made in favor of the plaintiff. Good move. Refunds were ordered in this case. That in itself really sets a great starting precedent and will, if customers take the initiative, come back to potentially further bite AirAsiaX in the butt. AirAsiaX's statement yesterday brought this entire debacle to a whole new level of insult for their loyal customers. Yet again, ignoring Mavcom's statement about providing refunds, the CEO went on record in what really appears to be both a veiled threat to customers, i.e. take 5 cents or take nothing, but also a massive insult to them through the poor choice of words. It is better for the passengers if we are alive or dead. If we're dead, the passengers get nothing. Doesn't sit well. Personally, I think the statement was very poorly worded, poorly delivered, and might have been better executed by someone with a little bit more media nous and of course customer credibility. The CEO is not always the best spokesperson, especially in times of crisis or issue, and especially when a brand gives the appearance to the public that they're trying to pull a fast one. As I view it, this is potentially another nail in the coffin for customer loyalty. Ongoing inconsistencies, total lack of empathy, and other observable publicized events have continued to erode away the brand loyalty and to continue to further to widen the trust deficit that AAX is experiencing with its customers. Tony purchasing a Tesla, shouting about it in the news, while his families are going bankrupt due to the impact of the pandemic. Well, that's simply distasteful. Public shows of wealth and affluence, but no willingness to give these back or give back to those that enabled the wealth, i.e. customers, is certainly in poor taste. And it also reeks of poor ethical practices and simply does not sit right. I personally don't care what car he drives or anything else. But in times like this, where issues are rife, customers are angry, you would think that now would be the time to shut up rather than to shout. To get back from this mess is really going to be an interesting challenge for both advisors and board. I feel the damage done, the disrespect shown, may really be just a little too much. I know that many customers will stay. That simply, there's not a lot of alternatives out there that are economically attractive. But those customers affected may certainly rethink future purchases and involvement in the airline. I'm personally not owed a refund, but I do know people that are. I also know that I would not be willing to spend with the brand, given their recent track record, as I would be constantly worried about issues that would emerge and the potential inconvenience that could cause. I'd much rather some security. The brand needs to be a little bit more strategic with their communications and certainly needs to be a lot more savvy with their choice of words and the tone of the expression used. To recover, they need to play Mr. Nice Guy, not Mr. I don't care, which really is the current position they appear to be revealing. As is common in Malaysia, there may be a later statement to say, the statement made was taken out of context, yada, yada, yada. But you know what? At the time of recording this, nearly a whole day after the statement was made, no such request or opposition to the statement has been observed. I'd really like to see them do the right thing. They have led by example in the past, and I've applauded them for that. They could do this again. Their customers could get refunds or at least parity value for their lost flights. But honestly, I'm not holding my breath on that. Ultimately, not everyone can fly. Cheers.